Okay, so for the next part, we are going to get into a couple different tools once again. For this part, you can see that we're going from a square base and it transforms into a circle at the top. And so ignoring this section, we're just going to look at the rectangle base for right now and make that before we worry about anything else. So this rectangle base is 4 inches by 4 inches by 1 inch, and so that's pretty easy, so we're going to go ahead and do that. So File, New, and create the next IPT. So I'm going to click on Start 2D Sketch, and I actually am going to draw it from the XZ plane, so it can start from the base and work its way up. So for this one, I'm going with the XZ plane. I need to select my rectangle tool, so it defaulted polygon because that's what I used last, but this time I need to use my rectangle tool, so I'm going to go with 2-point center, and this is a 4 inch by 4 inch square. So now I have my 4 by 4 square, and I'm going to look and see it needs to be extruded 1 inch, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to finish my sketch and extrude that 1 inch, which is the default. Okay, so now I have my base. The next step is making this circle up here, and so this is going to be a little bit different than what you've done in the past. I can see that my circle is actually 7 minus 1 inches away from it, so it's going to be 6 inches from the top. So if I look at it here, I'm going so 1 inch is already included up to 6 inches. So the total height of this is 7 inches, but from the top to here, it's going to be 6 inches. And for me to do that, I need to do something different. I can't just start a 2D sketch and draw on this. It's not going to work. I need my plane. I need to have a piece of paper above it, somewhere to draw 6 inches above this square. So over here where it says plane, I need to offset from the plane. So I'm going to offset specifically from this surface. So I have to tell it where I'm offsetting from. So I'm offsetting from the top of this square. And then I need to tell it how many inches am I going to offset it. Well, we decided that 7 minus 1 was 6, so I'm going to offset it 6 inches. And so now you can see that I have this work plane up here that's 6 inches above this surface. And so now I can start a 2D sketch and draw on this work plane. So it looks like I'm drawing directly on the square, but I'm actually not. I'm drawing 6 inches above it. And so looking now at my circle, it's listed as a radius of 2 inches. Well, circles actually need to be dimensioned by the diameter, so twice the radius is going to be the diameter, so instead of 2 inches, it's going to be 4 inches in diameter. So back over here, I'm going to grab my circle tool, I'm going to place my circle in the middle, and I'm going to make that 4 inches in diameter, so you can see that that's been added. Now I'm going to finish my sketch, and you can see more clearly that my circle is hovering 4 inches, or 6 inches rather, above this square. Alright, the next step, and this is another tool that you're going to be using, is the loft tool. And so loft is how I'm going to combine this surface, if I can get it, this surface to the circle. So over here where it says click to add, I'm going to select my sketch, and I want to select this top surface, and then click to add again. I want to select this circle, and you can see that it automatically lofts them together. With the loft tool, you can make some very, very complex geometry. This is how you're going to make some really crazy shapes by using the loft tool. I always have students want to know, how do I turn off this work plane because I don't want to look at it anymore. Well, it's actually over here in the browser, and if I right click on work plane, I can uncheck the visibility to make it go away, and then at this point you can just save it like you've done before, save as, and save it as part number 9. So that finishes up this section of parts. For practice number 3, this is another loft. I'm not going to draw this one for you because I just demonstrated on how to use a loft tool, so you're going to figure this out. It's essentially the same thing as the previous one, and then this is also using the loft tool, but you're going to be lofting a polygon It looks like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's a hexagon. So if you don't remember how to do a polygon, then go back to the polygon video and rewatch that. And then you're going to loft it into a rectangle at the top, so a 0.87 rectangle. And so that will get you through part 9, 10, and 11.